So now let's think about what does it mean to be AI ready? And we find that this is a framework that folks tell us is really helpful, is kind of unpacking AI readiness into these different pillars. So first we look at a values aligned charter. So here we're thinking about having like a document, a charter that governs the organization's use of AI. How are we approaching AI ethically and responsibly, really aligning to the principles that are most important to us in our organizations, and then memorializing that in a charter that you share internally or perhaps even publish externally, as you want to be accountable to your different stakeholders. The next piece is around data pipeline readiness. We're all familiar with the adage garbage in, garbage out. Very, very relevant in the AI space. What AI tools are only as good as the context that we give them, and a lot of that context is going to come from the data pipeline. So we want to be thinking when we think about data readiness or data pipeline readiness, we want to be thinking about our data quality, our data system governance, and the infrastructure we have in our organization, and how ready is that for AI implementation. From there, we move into prioritizing use cases. And I'm guessing many of you are already thinking about different use cases or maybe have already started prioritizing use cases as we saw folks already exploring or piloting different AI use cases. So prioritizing use cases, you want to think about the different ways that you can be using AI through the lens of ROI or return on investment, through a lens of their values alignment. So coming back to that values aligned charter and the principles for AI adoption in your organization, and then through the lens of context readiness. So what's important to understand here is that you may have use cases that would have a really good ROI, but the context isn't there. The data pipeline isn't really ready for that use case. You may have other use cases that have really higher ROI, but they don't have great values alignment. And so there isn't one formula that you can apply that says this is the use case that should be prioritized. There's a number of different lenses that need to be applied to this. From here, we look at an implementation roadmap. So this is all about planning and executing the design, the build, the piloting, and ultimately the rollout of AI tools for different use cases, for use cases that get prioritized. And a good roadmap is going to lay sort of a framework for where we're trying to get to in, let's say, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, maybe even the next 18 months. So from a backlog of use cases, you can build out a set of priorities and share that with folks so they have visibility on what is being prioritized, why is it being prioritized, and what's coming on the roadmap, just like you might for a product or a system that you manage internally. And then the last piece of this is change management, monitoring, and feedback. So this is really about making sure that your stakeholders, your team are ready and enabled around AI tools, and then monitoring how they use AI tools and getting feedback from them so that we're constantly learning and adapting. And if we do this well, again, it's a journey, it's not the destination. If we're doing this well, each of these is going to feed into the others. So we might need to go back and revisit our charter. We certainly, our data pipelines are going to keep evolving. And so this cycle, this wheel is just going to keep rolling. But these are the what we call the 5 pillars of AI readiness.